Well, hello my friends. Welcome back to my shed. And, well, today I'm going to make something a little bit different from anything that I've done before. The inspiration came from something else. And with that, you know, it develops to my own interpretation of something slightly different. And I'm going to bring you step by step on how I did it, and you can do it too. Okay, let me bring you in there and show you what I got going on. I got a square lumber. It's 8 by 8 maybe, 7 1/4 by 7 1/4, and basically take a compass, go from one corner as wide as the piece is, or pretty close to the outside edges. I'm in 1/8 of an inch on both sides so it doesn't mess up, and draw a quarter circle, corner to corner. Then you come to the opposite corner right here, or this one, because you're going to meet up with that corner and that one. So I'll draw this up. Now it has created somewhat of an eye shape. So now it's a matter of getting one of these corners of the eye, be right on it, and again draw it. Doesn't matter if you come on the outside of the wood like that, because when I go and get this corner, it's going to intersect at the exact point. Make sure that this doesn't slide out, and again draw that out. So I mean, I could go more elaborate with this by coming up with different points, but that's as far as I'm going to go with it. So this is what I got. Now I take this to the bandsaw and I'm going to cut this shape, discard these little pieces out, and work with that flower shape. So here's the shape. That's what I'm going to be working with. Now the idea is I'm going to make a little box in the middle section of this and wing this out into somewhat of an OG and come from the bottom and flare it out. I might actually make the box, flare this down all the way to the base of the box, and then just bring the outside so the petals will be facing upwards. And that's what I'm going to do. The only thing that I have to take into account is the fact that I got a little bit of cracking on this area here. I thought I had seen another section, but other than that, yeah, the bottom over here. So if this is going upwards, and that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to set it up on my worm screw, make a mortise on this side over here, flare this up already going towards the top with a slight OG way at the top, and then flip it over and shape up the inside. And this, of course, is eucalyptus. Wood of choice for now, while I have it. Now this is rough. All of this is rough cut from the bandsaw. There's nothing true over here other than the fact that I had a square to start off with. Okay, while I got that mounted, I am going to prep the lid for that as well, and it will be the same design. Well, my apologies. Thought the camera was on and it was on standby. Anyway, I've established the mortise over here, started shaping this, and I have a problem. The problem is I got all these cracks going through here, and for this piece I don't want that. I can live with this little bit over here, but I cannot live with this, all this cracking over here, and I hope that it doesn't go all the way through. So the idea was to create somewhat of an OG here, but I actually have to create a concave to get rid of that. The inspiration for this piece is actually the square Oriental box that I did from Jimmy Clues. Of course, this piece is not from Jimmy, but it's inspired from the same. Okay, it looks like this piece, this crack is going to keep going all the way through, and I can't possibly do much more here to eliminate it. And my feeling is that it's going to keep on going, and it's really forcing me to alter the shape that I wanted. So I think that I'm going to CA this and clean it up just one more time. Okay, I want to go in here and clean up a little bit of these fuzzies that are on that, and resand that area right there. Thing that I want to do to this right now is, I don't have much room, but especially on this tip right here, but I would like to roll this back just a bit, just to get the petals to curl up slightly. And it's got, they already have a little bit, but I just want to go a little bit more. There we go. Ah, it's much better. Right at the tip. Okay, ready to flip this over. I cannot afford to take anything whatsoever from the tips. Now, before I start doing any cutting on this, I want to make sure that these points all parallel to the front. So once I start turning it, I don't start hitting this point. So I want to make sure that this point, and the inside of these are all going to match. Put my tool rest sideways over here. There. Perfect. Perfect. And that's going to take it off. That should be good. Now, I do not want to take anything from the tip right here. So I'll work that in going inwards. And I'm going to speed this up. Give me better, cleaner cuts. I'm going to run this about 2,000 RPMs. Now this part over here has to come up to the inside of this. So I'm going to stay about 1/4 of an inch shy from each side over here. So that's good. That's where I'm going to be marking where I'm going to be coming from with this piece right here. Okay, I'm down to the bottom of the petals. I want to take off a little bit more from this area right here. Clean that up. Going in there with a sander, make sure that you come up opened up on the top. Don't go in this way because you're going to get a bad catch. Come up, slight angle, about 20-30 degrees. And let those wings hit the bottom. Let those wings hit the bottom part of the sandpaper. Just about done with 400 grit. Well, I'm ready to apply sanding sealer to this piece. Well, the base of this lily flower, it's going to be a lily flower box, has been sanded to 400. It's been sealed with Minwax sanding sealer professional formula. Wet sanded it with 1200 grit and just applied one coat of Minwax paste finishing wax. This is what I use in most of my finishes. I do have the Captain Eddie's Shine Juice, the OB Juice. And it works fine, but I seem to like the results of the wax a little bit better than anything else that I've used. Basically I put it on one time, one coat, and I'm done with it. And when I bring it into the house, it's not dull a couple of days later. It maintains that shine for a long time. Well, I mean, I don't know how long it will be, but I haven't had any pieces fade out yet, dull out, because they sucked in the oils or anything like that. So I find this to be a good one-time finish. No tricks. Just put it on and buff. Very lightly on these outside wings. Just let the paper towel just barely touch it. Roll up the paper towel away from your fingers like that and have just the tips of the paper towel touch the material. On the inside you can apply a little bit of pressure where it's solid. and it's a pretty good finish. So just by hand, buff these wings, the outside of the wings where I can't do it all. This is where a buffing wheel would come in handy for stuff like this. So at this point I'm ready to take it off from the jaws and start working on the lid. Now the lid is going to sit like this, and it will be coming upwards as well. As a matter of fact, I will do pretty much an all curled up and bring it inside and make a ball on the middle, which will be the handle, and it will also act as the eye of the flower. And with this recess here, I'll be able to flip this over for the finishing of the bottom. I'll mount it up at the very end. Not a lot of pressure, very little pressure as a matter of fact, and just enough to hold me in there, and I'll be able to do anything I want with the bottom. Now I gotta drill this for the worm screw. Okay, even though I got that hole over there, I might do the center with a different wood to accentuate on that, where I got that hole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the dome for the lid in here, the recess to fit on there, and I'll be able to flip this over, grab it by the recess, the lid, and finish it up from the opposite side. So this is going to be turned. First I'm going to flatten it up, and these wings will be turned going all the way up to the top with just a little bit of an outwards wing at the end. Okay, it's on, but I don't need it to be this tight, so barely gonna touch it this time. Now in this middle, what I think I'm going to do on that is actually fill it up with epoxy and give it a resiny finish on that. It should look good. It should complement the piece. Now this is a very hard piece to sand for sure. This one. The big one was not a problem. This one, can't get my hands in there, and the drill doesn't fit. So I'm gonna call that good. Alright, so I filled up the center with epoxy, and right now the epoxy is kind of bubbling up a little bit. I see little bubbles keep coming up and popping up. I might need to put a torch to it to assist it. Maybe not. The bubbles are going to stop very shortly because it's gelling up and becoming hard, so once it does that, it's impossible for the air bubbles to pass through. Right now I got sanding seal on it, and I haven't wet sanded it yet, but I really wanted to, I don't know, look at my options or think about my options as what to do with this part. Oops. Without breaking it, of course. It's not that it's going to break. Now the back side would not be hard to buff because I could jam it in in my jaws. It's this part right here, these wings. They already hit my knuckle a little bit. Nothing drastic, but a couple of times my finger slipped while I was sanding inside here. And you know, you jump, you get a little jerk reaction, but you know, after the second time it's like, okay, I'm not going to be pressing my luck and keep going in there with this method. So I haven't been able to really get in there and to do a really super job on the sanding either. It's okay. I've done a lot of hand sanding, but it's not satisfactory on my book. The acrylic top, it's a little fuzzy. I wish I had it a little bit cleaner, but it's not bad. Now this I can speed buff. I can even speed wet sand it. It's the bottom part that's the problem. Well, it fits tight. It's almost got the pop to it. That's a nice fit. Well, I gotta tell you, this is exciting, considering the tough time I had with the lid on this. But this is really something. The contour is going pretty well with the base on this. It's a flower. I'm going to call this one a water lily box. And here it is, finished product. The bottom, it's not bad. It's got a decent finish. It's not polished. The inside of the lid looks pretty good. So it can go corner to corner like that, or offset it to kitty corner, and I actually like it this way. But that's it. Thank you for watching. I gotta say, this one was a little bit of a challenge and a fun piece. It's not, I wouldn't advise if you're just getting started on the lathe to mount yourself up a piece of wood and attempt this combination. These edges, they're pretty tough, you know, and finishing is a little tougher, especially when you get to these with the high points like this. It's very hard to get your hands in there. You can't fit the tool, so you know, get a little bit of practice under your wings first before you attempt something like this. It pushed my limits and my abilities, but the acrylic center, it's a little bit foggy on the outside, but because I cannot get in there well enough to really buff this up, power buff it, and I'm not going to take a chance of getting hurt, so I'm going to call it complete the way it is. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy it. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you have subscribed, thank you again. And as always, leave a comment. It's one of those pieces. There's inspiration behind this piece. You know, with one idea comes other ideas, and that's what it's all about, is exploring the different things that you come up with, even if it starts off with somebody else's idea. And this is one of those cases. I did the Oriental box from Jimmy Clues, and with that, you know, it's not this, but trying to design something. Accidentally, I came up with this pattern, and I put a piece on the lathe the first time to check it out, see if I was going to be able to do it. And again, my Eucalyptus, the majority of it has wormholes, and it was one of those cases that I started going inside. The block looked solid, but once I started going inside, you know, it had areas that I could not use it for this type of a design. I wanted something that was going to be full. Now this one also had a couple of stress cracks in there. They're not from insects, but they were there all along. So I CA'd them with medium CA in there just to make sure that it stabilized, that it didn't keep going. And but you know, that doesn't take from the piece. I think it's fine. The lid holds, so, and it has that buckle. Just hope that tomorrow it still fits. If not, it will be coming back out here, and I'm going to figure out exactly how I can do it. Probably make a jam chuck for this tip over here to take off a little bit, or go on the main bowl itself, which I can still mount it back up over here and widen it up a little bit and true it up. Well, thanks guys. We'll see you very soon.